Crypto Monday San Juan, let's get a round of applause. Crypto Monday San Juan, let's get a round of applause, please. This guy's ready. I don't know what he's drinking, but I need two of them up here. That guy there is focused, man. I'll tell you what, man. Welcome, everybody, to Crypto Mondays. My name is Pedro Rivera. I'll be your host today. I'm the founder of the community here, man. You guys are awesome, man. I love seeing y'all every week, man. We're going to start doing a lot more things during the week as well. Y'all stay tuned. I just moved back to Old San Juan, so y'all pay attention to the Telegram channel. You guys do not follow us on Telegram, man. This wave of people that we've got in our community now are not on our Telegram channel. Your Telegram channel is a great resource because a lot of the people that are in that channel are people that lived in Puerto Rico for like 4 or 5 years. And a lot of these guys, you know, like are really high level successful in the industry, and you ask questions in that group and people will give you good information. And if they don't, then someone else in the community will actually straighten them. So that's a really great way to communicate and also keep up to date with everything else that's going on. It's a great way to banter back and forth. But with that being said, let's get an introduction to our guest here, Mr. Clark Varin. Clark, go ahead and say what's up to the people. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hey everyone, my name's Clark Varin. This is my 4th time in Puerto Rico in the last year, so I should probably start moving.
Let me get a round of applause for Puerto Rico.
Yeah. I've got to say, of all places on earth, there's no community like Puerto Rico.
Hey, we know it.
This is the best community I've ever seen.
Build longer tables, not higher walls. That's actually, you know, saying we live by. It's in one of the WhatsApp groups that I actually have that are too full for most of you guys who are new here. But at the same time, I'm about to start another one. Don't worry, we're gonna start another group and get more active.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I live in Colorado now, but my company is actually based in Uganda, in Africa. So
shout out to Kwame Rogunda. Good friend of mine, Kwame Rogunda. I didn't know if you know this, but a good friend of mine, Kwame Rogunda, is actually one of the kids of the Prime Minister of Uganda. And in 2017, when they would come over here and study about blockchain, it were people that we helped out as well, man. So some really good people in Uganda. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I spend about 2 to 3 months a year in Uganda. I spend about half the year living in Colorado now is where I'm at, and then the rest of the time I'm kind of bouncing around. And Pedro and I have met all over the world. Like, where have we run into each other? Probably Dubai, I think Malta.
Yeah, Malta as well. A couple of spots. So the beautiful part about our industry is that when you get active and you start building projects in our industry, you start to see the same people in different markets overseas and different places. And it really, really is, it really is an incredible thing, man, to hang out with your friends in different fly places all over the world.
Yeah. And what I do is I work in microfinance primarily. So what microloans, if you haven't heard of them before, is the #1 way to eradicate poverty in the world. It's the concept of giving someone a hand up instead of a handout. In fact, when you look back at like the history of donations, we've done a lot of harm by donating free rice to Haiti and putting rice farmers out of business, by giving free shoes through Tom's Shoes, where the people actually ended up with more bare feet after that program than before, because it put the shoe manufacturers out of business there too. So the idea is more like, let's go to these places that need help and let's figure out the problems that they tell us rather than what we tell them the problem is. And by doing that, we can lift people up and help them start businesses that they actually are passionate about starting.
Excellent, excellent. So how long have you been doing this now?
4 years now. 4
years? That's a beautiful thing. Let's get a round of applause for the work my guy's doing in Uganda, man. So, typically, right, I'm very, obviously, cautious about the kind of people we promote and the kind of people we partner with for sponsors and so on and so forth. And I want to tell you guys something. This guy actually has a whole nother business that would actually be profitable for him, to actually more profitable financially for him to be up here to be discussing. And, after he called me about the sponsorship, which is actually something that I actually think a lot of you guys would be into, which is, we'll actually get into a little bit about your background and your trading background. But he actually called me back and he was like, what I want to do is I want to present to the community something more impactful. And just that alone was like, to me, it just meant a lot to me. And I wanted to share that with you guys because I didn't, I thought that was something that should be noticed. But just tell me a little bit more about your project.
The microfinance project or?
The microfinance, correct.
Yeah. Well, It started when I was in college, actually. I was running a travel agency, and I was seeing poverty all over the world. I got to see indigenous cultures. I got to see the Amazon that had been wrecked from, gold mines and whatnot. And I came back from guiding these incredible camping trips, but I felt like there was still something kind of missing. Like, I was living the most incredible life that a 20-year-old guy could be living in college. And yet, there was something missing, and I realized it was contribution. I thought back from, my dad used to listen to audio tapes in the car when I was in college, and he listened to Tony Robbins. And I remember Tony Robbins saying how, like, the secret to living is giving. And if you're not giving, then you're not achieving the full potential that you have as a human being, We have a lot of needs. We have a lot of emotional needs that are pain-driven needs where, if we don't have a roof over our head and we feel insecure, that's pain-driven. But when it comes to contribution, that's not pain-driven. That's something that you need to do in order to feel the full abundance of life. And so at this point in my life, I felt like I had met all of my pain-driven needs and wasn't feeling the full abundance because it wasn't about helping others. It was about myself. Where could I go? What would be the next cool trip I could plan? And then that's when I made a commitment that every business from that moment on is going to be impact-driven because I want to live the full abundance of life emotionally. I want to be rich emotionally in addition to financially, right?
Excellent. So you said abundance twice, right? And that's actually what I wanted to discuss is basically, you shifted your mindset from a scarcity mindset to a mindset of abundance where you realize that, what would make you feel whole and complete would be actually, fulfilling and helping and a life of service as opposed to, focus on yourself and, most capital gains you can achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that I do that is through entrepreneurship. The microfinance is one company. That's one business that I started. I learned about it first in college, actually. They were talking about it in my ethics class, about how this guy out in Bangladesh was able to make microloans work with incredibly low default rates using the Women Trust Group system, which we can get into later, but that's how we mitigate the risk on the loans. And I'm just like, I'm a passionate entrepreneur. I look for opportunities of how can we make money and do good. And another one of those opportunities I spent a lot of time on last year is an ecotourism resort in Panama, where, has anyone ever heard of the Azulik before? It's a hotel in Tulum. Oh, we got one guy back there. We got another person here. It's the most followed hotel on Instagram. And a few months ago, we just landed a deal with them to build the second Azulik in Bocas del Toro, Panama, but 10 times bigger. And we're going to be employing 200 people who are living in an indigenous community in extreme poverty right now. And giving them
Let's
jobs.
get a round of applause for that, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I see that, this seems to be something that obviously motivates you is finding ways to make money while still helping people. There's nothing wrong with making money while you're helping people, right? Especially if you're able to provide better solutions and better lives for people, and create solutions. It makes sense. So tell me a little bit about your microfinance. How does it work? And just give me a little bit, like if I'm struggling, and what markets do you serve?
So currently we have 10 offices in Uganda. And in order to get a loan from us, you need to be someone who's making less than $10 a day. There are plenty of other financial institutions that will give you a loan if you're making over $10 a day, because those are the people who are more creditworthy, more profitable, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not our mission. Our mission is I feel like one of my life missions is I want to die in a world free of slums. Like, I've seen it possible. I've seen that it's possible because I've also seen what economic development can do when it's done the right way. And I've seen slums being lifted up out of poverty through our microfinance programs. But 90% of our borrowers are women. So in Uganda specifically, there are a lot of single mothers. There's a lot of people who have been devastated from the country's history. If you've heard of the AIDS epidemic that happened through there, the war in the 70s and whatnot. And so there's a lot of, especially single mothers in Uganda. And we give to those people who are trying to take care of their kids and have a skill set. Like one lady particularly rings a bell to my comes to mind. She was making $3 a day doing casual labor jobs, and I asked her, what would you do with a loan? Well, she had a sewing machine, and she had a good skill set, which was sewing clothes. She was a seamstress, a fantastic seamstress, but she didn't have cloth in order to take advantage of the skill set that she had. So we gave her a loan for $200, and she paid that loan back within 2 months, and she went from making $3 a day to $45 a day making clothes for her community.
I don't know if that's big for you. That's big for me. Let me get a round of applause for him, man. I mean, obviously, these type of opportunities wouldn't, be available to people without the help of, people like yourself and people who are interested in going out and reaching out. I applaud you for that. I'm grateful for your mission. Tell us the ways that we can support and how is it that we can get behind you if we wanted to, focus on helping you out.
So in October of last year, I had just finished writing a white paper on DeFi microloans, how I think that DeFi could disrupt the microfinance industry completely. And that's when I flew to Dubai, when we met in Dubai.
I've been to Dubai so many times.
Yeah,
it's hard
sorry,
for me
he lives in Dubai. So, but during October...
It's hard for me to tell you which time it was in
Yeah.
Dubai, but yeah, sure. I'm sure we was there.
So it was October at Dubai Blockchain Week.
I was there.
And I was looking for my technical co-founder.
You was
Now-
there too, weren't you, Luke? Yeah, we was there together.
Yeah. And I didn't actually find my technical co-founder, but what I did find was a project that has completely transformed our business. And this is a project that the vision of it is to be a DAO. And as a DAO, you would either stake USDC, Ethereum, or Bitcoin into a pool of capital. And with that pool of capital, they're making trades back and forth on Uniswap. Now, if you don't know what Uniswap is, it's the largest decentralized exchange. So they basically are turning your
We have
Ethereum...
we have a pretty educated crowd out
All right,
here.
we got a good educated
How many
crowd.
people don't know what Uniswap is? Put your hand up.
Okay, perfect.
Literally not one. Oh, one guy. Maybe two.
Excellent. So,
Yeah, one
but it's the
honest guy.
equivalent of foreign exchange, like
I like it.
dollars to euros, but in the crypto world. And so the way that they do it is they do these trades back and forth, and they earn transaction fees. And they give a portion of those transaction fees back to the investor, and then a portion of those transaction fees goes into a treasury. And that treasury is then distributed to different missions like mine. And everyone who stakes gets a governance token. So now not only are you receiving yield, but you're also receiving a governance token. And that governance token has actual utility because it decides where the cash flow from the treasury goes. So you can imagine organizations like mine who are like, hey, I could dig some weekly recurring cash flow to give out more microloans. We want to be collecting these governance tokens. So it's a really great way in order to earn yield on your crypto assets. And if you want to support my organization, the best way to do that would be staking Bitcoin, Ethereum, or USDC into this nonprofit that supports our institution and makes you money.
You got a nod over there by somebody I highly respect in this industry. His name is Luke Stokes. I'm sure we'll get a comment out of him shortly. So, yeah, I mean, sounds like, what's the name of this platform?
It's my liquidity partner.
My Liquidity Partner. So I actually know someone else who has My Liquidity Partner as the name of their project as well. His name is Varin Santiago. Do you know Varin?
He's our partner.
Oh, so it's the same company.
Same company.
I wish I'd have realized that. But yeah. So when he said My Liquidity Partner, you sent me the logo. It was a little bit different than the one that...
No, it's the same logo.
No. Well, Ruby Family Office, shout out to Berlin Santiago. Yeah, these guys are doing very well. I know these... that's interesting. But yeah, I know these guys, and I know the majority of your team, actually. They're mainly based out of Dubai. So yeah, we got questions for Clark. Luke, you got governance questions, I'm sure. Wait, brother. We got technology now, bro.
There we go. There we go. What's up, Clark?
Oh, wait. Speaking of we have technology, I cannot let this moment go. I'm sorry, Clark. I will get back to you, Luke. Don't lose your question. We have a lot of smart people in our community. a bunch of you, okay? No one likes to register. I don't want you guys to have to register every week, but I need to be able to log your name and your email, just like who you are every week, right? I don't know the solution that we can figure it out to make it easy and painless on everybody, but we have a lot of smart people, right? And I know the way we're doing it now is not the best way. So someone please help me with a solution that makes sense, that I can keep track of who comes every week, right? And you don't have to like register all that information. Please. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Go ahead, Stokes.
So you said you could stake your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, specifically Bitcoin. That's not a token that you can easily put into a multi-sig or something like that. So is this a centralized organization? How do I know if I take, some Bitcoin and throw it that way, that it's not going to get, rug pulled or something like that? How do you do the governance around the assets that they're under management? A DAO has a multi-sig, which makes sense on Ethereum or EOS or these other things. What about the Bitcoin? Is it wrapped Bitcoin, or how do you do it?
It is wrapped Bitcoin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have the bridge risk then of the centralized entity that backs the wrap. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. And by the way, we have an insurance policy to protect your Bitcoin, so you're completely insured, and it's not partial insurance like the FDIC in your bank account. But
I owe my guy who came up here last week and said, not your coins, not your exchange. I owe him an apology, and I gave out wrong information. Coinbase is not insured. In fact, if Coinbase goes bankrupt, they take your money. So I'm sorry to the community. I'm sorry to that guy, first and foremost. And also, too, I want you guys to know he was 100% right. Not your coins, not your keys, not your coins. Yeah. And Coinbase goes bankrupt, they take your money. Whatever you have on Coinbase goes to the shareholders. But go ahead.
Yeah. But to answer your question, in this case, you do have counterparty risk. It is not your coins. It would work the same way as a fund or a bank account. But the way that we make our liquidity providers feel more comfortable is by having an insurance policy that says, hey, if for some reason you were to lose this, there is a reputable insurance company that's going to pay you out.
Will you take actual Bitcoin, or do you have to wrap it first in order to deposit?
No, you would deposit using actual Bitcoin, and then we wrap it.
We'll take your Bitcoin. Just, let me know if you need a, address. I'll help you out. Next question. Come on up here. We need you to come on up here. We can't go too far back because the Bluetooth might not work back there. But if you guys can come up here, I appreciate it.
One more, KYC.
KYC. Of course, bro.
Yeah.
You sound like we need to KYC you. Of course, KYC.
So you'd be
It's 2022, bro. We can't get away from KYC if you want to go over $50, bottom line.
So with most of these people being in areas where they don't have a lot of cell coverage or potentially even internet or energy, how do you hold these people accountable for repaying the loans?
Ooh.
Yeah, so how do the loans work? What we do is we find 3 or 4 people who know each other quite well and have complementary businesses. So if one person sells chickens, another person might sell charcoal, because you need the charcoal in order to cook the chicken, and then tomatoes in order to make a tomato soup and put the chicken in it, right? And so we organize them into small groups, and they borrow as a group. So 4 people wouldn't each individually borrow $250. The group of 4 would borrow $1,000. And they're accountable for paying the loan back as a group. And that's the kind of social accountability that mitigates our risk, because one person may not be able to pay that week, but the other people are like, hey, I got you. I know it's something. I know you. I know you're not just like not paying your loan. Your kid was sick or something like that. And so this is the kind of community-oriented culture. Like in Uganda, that's the way that they took care of each other anyways. And so
in other words, we do business with honest people.
Yeah, we do business with honest people, and we have essentially 4 guarantors on every loan.
I mean, it sounds crazy, right? But like that's because you guys, we come from different culture. But the truth is, when you come from different parts of Puerto Rico's kind of like that, bro. Like I promise you can go out into the island of Puerto Rico and any given neighborhood, right, and talk to the people who live on that block, and they can tell you who's gonna pay you back and who's not. Guaranteed, right? So when you're in smaller communities, it's very normal. But go ahead. Next question. They'll also tell you who fights and who drinks, and you know.
That's the more important information.
Yeah.
What's your favorite drink?
San Pellegrino.
I don't really drink, but when I do drink, it's mezcal.
I have a question about the insurance. Are you listed at the beneficiary, or is it the entity is listed, the beneficiary on the insurance, and
You
then
mean
you
you mean
reimburse us.
you as the client, would you be
Yes.
insured? Good question.
Yeah, so the company has the duty to pay you back, but the company is the beneficiary on the insurance policy.
Is it a third-party insurance company?
It is a third-party insurance
So
policy.
we can self-insure as well, right?
You can always self-insure.
Yeah.
You
That-
can
yeah,
you can
and
self-insure,
everything.
but the way that we got this insurance policy was by having collateral that we gave to the insurer.
Okay.
So there's a product out there called Bridge Mutual. Shout out to a good friend of mine named Mike Miglio. He provides the ability for you to create a pool to insure any product. So if there is enough interest out there for you guys to start an insurance pool for my liquidity partner, then whatever capital is put up on the insurance pool would actually be, on the other end loaned out, so on and so forth, and the insurance policy would cover up to that dollar amount. So it's a pretty good project that Mr. Miglio has. Shout out to Mr. Miglio. We'll see you soon. He's been over in Ukraine doing incredible things, man. He's got a Ukrainian girlfriend, and he's been working really hard over in Ukraine. I'm not sure if you guys are still aware. There's still a war over there, right? One of my good friends, Sergey Gribniak, and our good portion of our development team was still there. So I'm sorry, still dealing with a lot of people over there. Bridge Mutual is actually a product you may want to look into. The brother just came up to. Next question.
Question about the DAO platform you're using. How are you managing those governance tokens? What's the interface for people to participate in that voting? What have you guys, and what is it built on as well? Like which platform?
Lucas has governance questions.
Yeah, I can see that. So the governance.
That's why he's going to interview Miss Hannah next, because he's a lot more technical than me.
So the governance token is just being issued right now, and so there hasn't been much interaction happening yet. And I can get back to you with a better answer in a few weeks.
Issued on which platform? Issued on which platform? Is it like a Polygon or Ethereum or to be determined?
You know what? I don't quite know the answer to that.
All good.
Yeah.
We don't tell fibs up here. We'll tell you. We'll get back to you with the right answer.
Yeah.
That's the right answer, by the way.
Let's talk later.
Any more questions? Let me get a round of applause for my guy, Mr. Clark Varin. Don't go away. So I cannot emphasize so much of this aspect of this brother's personality and his selflessness and his thought of altruism, which really, really moved me this week, and it made me think of myself and a variety of my own ventures in life, and ultimately, what am I doing with my time and my efforts? And for him to actually want to promote his nonprofit venture for what the people were doing with Uganda, as opposed to where he was doing with his other project, to me spoke volumes to me, and it made me really think about a lot of what we were doing. I had the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with this brother during the course of this week, and he's got a bright future in front of him. He's got a real good moral compass on him, and I'm excited to have him as a member in our community here in Puerto Rico. I look forward to you moving here soon. So let's get one more round of applause for him.
Thank you, everyone.